Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video we are going to discuss about the open file dialog control and rich text box control in C#.NET. Let us go into the video. We can open the new application form by clicking File menu, select New Project. You will have a new project window. Ensure that you have selected the Windows Form application and Visual C# as the language, and type in the name you want for the application. Let me have it for open file dialog. Open file dialog as my application name, and you can browse for the location in which the project has to be saved. So in this I'm going to create a folder called open file dialog control, and then you can select this folder to save your application. So you can see the location has been changed, and now click OK. A new project will be created and a Windows Form application, an empty form, will be displayed as the design. You can see the name of the form as Form 1. To change the name displayed here on the form, you can go for the text menu in the properties window. Select the form. First you will have the properties for this form, and you can say change the text here, text property here, as your open file dialog project or open file dialog form. So you can see that the text on the form name is getting changed. It is only for the display purpose, but the name of the form is not changed. You can see the name of the form is Form 1 in the name property. So this text property is the value and name property is the name attribute. This name property is used for the coding purpose, whereas text property is for the display purpose, is to show here what is this form about. Then we'll be moving on into the open file dialog control. So let me enlarge the form. Now go into the toolbox, find the tool control of open file dialog control. You can find it here. Now click and drag it to the form application. You can see that form open file dialog will not be created in your form, whereas it is in the tab down here. So the name of this open file dialog is open file dialog 1 is the name of this tool added here, and you can see the name here, property of the open file dialog 1. Then I'm going to add up one rich text box control. Search for the rich text box control here, and again click and drag it to your form. You can see a rich text box control is added to your form. This rich text box control is nothing but like a simple text box, whereas the text box control contains only a single line text. This and rich text box control contains multi-line text. You can enter multiple lines in this rich text box. Then I'm going to add up a button. Click the button control and drag it to your form. Now we can change the name and the display property for the button. So you can see the text displayed here as button 1. I'm going to change this as browse button. So for the user to know that this button will browse for the options, you have to go for the text property of the button. Select the button first. You'll have a properties for this button, and you can change the text value as browse. Whatever you give here in the text property will be displayed on the design part, whereas you can see the name of the button as button 1. So now And you can also check for the properties of the rich text box. The name of the rich text box is rich text box 1. So now I'm going to add up the code for this browse button. When I click the browse button, I have to prompt for the open file dialog box. A Windows Explorer form should have been given, which will be asking me to select the file and open the file which I require in the path I select. Okay, so now I'm going to give the code control for this button control. Double click on this, it will take you to the coding page. You can see that it is form.cs. The extension of C#.net is .cs, and it has taken us to the button click function, and you are going to give the action to be performed on the button click event here. So for the button click code for this open file dialog box, I have already added this in my blog, support to code.blogspot.com. I have the blog here. You can check for the rich text box and open file dialog control C#.net post. In my post I have added the code here. So I am going to just copy this code and I'm going to give it for the button click control now. So this open file dialog box, I'm just creating a object here. This object name can be whatever you like. It can be OF simply, open file dialog simply, or whatever it is. So I'm creating an object. With this object I'm going to set the properties of the open file dialog, and you can see that I've given us open file dialog multi select equal to false, and dot filter equal to images, dot read only checked equal to true. All this I'll explain while running the project here. And now the coding part is over. So now I'm going to run this project. So I've got a simple rich text box and browse button, and I click on the browse button. You can see that the open file dialog box, that is a Windows Explorer, asking me to open a new file is opened. Okay, so you can see this open file dialog name as select file. So in this C I have given open file dialog dot title equal to select files. So whatever the title you give here will be displayed as the title for this open file dialog window. And I have given open file dot multi select equal to false, which means it will not enable me to select more than one file. If I have given this as true, then it will allow me to select more than one files. And I have given open file dialog dot filter equal to images and the extension of files which has to be opened here. So this part which I have given here is for the display, and these are the extensions which the file will allow me to open. And this is given, this filter part is displayed here in this files of type images .bpm, .jpg, gif. So this is what is selected. And also I have given that, see in this filter I have given images to be opened and all files to be displayed. So in the file type you can see that images is also displayed and all files is also displayed. So you can select whatever the file format you need, and then you can also see that open as read only is checked here because I have set the property of read only checked equal to true. So likewise all these properties I'm going to set, and you can see the open file dialog initial file directory to be E drive. So once the window open file dialog is open, you can see it is taking me to the E drive. This is the default folder because I have given the initial directory to be E here. So these are all the properties you can set by yourself. Now if this is okay, if I've selected and if I set the open button, that is, it means a button is clicked and the dialog result is okay, then what should happen? I have given that this, in this open file dialog box, the file name property, I have something here in the file name, that one will display the file I select. Okay, this file name along with the path will be displayed and is assigned to the rich text box here. So when I select a file and when I click OK, you can see that the file name along with the path is displayed in the rich text box. So this is the usage of the open file dialog control and the rich text box. I hope you all have understood. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon for notifications.